What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Today, it's Fantasy Football Sunday Championship Week. It is time to get that championship trophy. Hopefully, you've had a decent Thursday game, Wednesday game, Saturday game, all of those stuff that have already happened. I know my championship matchup, it has been decent. I did have Ladd McConkey play, good day from him. I had Trey McBride play, good day from him. And I had, who was my last guy? Puka Nacua play, so a decent day from him as well. So pretty good day for me to start my championship week. I am playing against T. Higgins, so if you had T. Higgins, that is a good day for you. Thank God I was able to overcome that just a little bit, it felt like. But we're here to answer some questions today. We're not here to talk about my team. You guys could care less about my team. We're here to talk about your team. So I want to thank everybody who was in the chat early. Alex, Johnny, Kyle, Natish, Parker, everybody who's in here. Appreciate you. Parker says, what's going on, Andrew? What's going on with you, man? Appreciate you being here. And Alex says, is this the Krusty Krab? No. This is Patrick. So Johnny with the first question in the morning. He says, good morning, everybody. You got to fire some shots with this being the last week. You got Goff or Darnold. They're both top 10 quarterbacks in my rankings this week. I'm going with Sam Darnold. I have him one spot higher than Jared Goff. The only reason why is I think that they have to lean Detroit, that is. I think Detroit leans on their run game a little bit more than Minnesota does. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a competitive game with Green Bay for Minnesota. Obviously, they're playing to win this game because if they win, they do have a chance of stealing that number one seed next week against Detroit. Johnny, I'm just a little bit worried about Detroit, where if Minnesota loses today, does Detroit just say, hey, let's rest? We've clinched the number one seed. There's no reason for them to play competitively if Detroit or Minnesota loses. So that's the only thing that makes me a little bit nervous. Devin with the super chat. Appreciate you, Devin. He says PPR still rolling with Tracy over Mooney and Dobbs. I think so, man. I think I'm still rolling with him. Mooney has some mediocre weather in his game. Dobbs is interesting. I still think I roll with Tracy over Dobbs. Those would be my top two. So appreciate the super chat there, Devin. Now let's go to Kyle. Kyle had a question here. He says, start one wide receiver and one flex. You got Garrett Wilson, Thielen, Tracy, and Garendo. I'm going with Garrett Wilson and Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen should have some decent usage in this game. I was worried he wasn't going to play. He's going to play. Garrett Wilson is going to be a guy that I'm playing as well. So those would be the two in a full PPR. He also says, which defense would you start? The Bills, the Colts, or the Dolphins? I'm going with the Colts defense in this one. I think that they're the best defensive play this week. They're my favorite. They're my number one this week. Natish says, full PPR, Debo versus Detroit or Jalen McMillan versus Carolina. Debo Samuel would be my play. I have him as a better play in my rankings. Jalen McMillan should still have some good usage, but Detroit has been worse against the wide receivers than Jalen McMillan has so far this year, or than Carolina has been so far this year. I think that there's a chance that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win this one pretty easily. So I'm still going with Debo. I know McMillan's on a hot streak right now with touchdowns, but I'm still going Debo. Grim, 6-point passing touchdown. Tua looks like he's out. Got Aaron Rodgers or DTR. I have to start one from early games. Said, I heard it's bad weather in Buffalo. Yeah, it could be some bad weather in Buffalo. I'm still going to play Aaron Rodgers over DTR, but I don't feel great about it. Sucks with the Tua injury, but I'm still playing Aaron Rodgers. I can't trust DTR at all. Ant says, PPR for my flex, BTJ, Breece Hall, Jaden Reed. Pick one. For me, it would be between BTJ and Breece Hall. That Carolina or the Jacksonville, Tennessee game is also supposed to have some pretty bad weather. There might be a delay is what I'm hearing in this game, so we'll keep an eye on that one just because there's supposed to be lightning and some rain and stuff like that. BTJ has been an absolute stud for us so far this fantasy football season. I kind of want to lean on the start your studs narrative. I'm having a tough time with this one. I think the game script could benefit Breece Hall, especially if the weather's bad there. He could run the ball. He could get into the end zone. Breece Hall feels like the safe play. BTJ feels like the ceiling play. So I'm going to lean for my ceiling play in Brian Thomas Jr. However, you know your matchup a little bit better than I do, Ant. If you're maybe playing from behind or you're projected to lose, you got to shoot for the ceiling. If you are projected to win a lot, maybe you already had T. Higgins play or something like that, and you feel like you just need a safe floor, Breece Hall would probably be my pick, but I wouldn't be considering Jaden Reed here. Parker says Bryce Young or Aaron Rodgers. I want to lean Bryce Young here. I'm just going to double check my rankings just to make sure that I'm still accurate there. Yeah, I got Bryce Young as a top 15 play. Aaron Rodgers, for me, he's top 20 play, but he is lower. So I'm going to go with Bryce Young there as the play here. Alex says, need advice in the championship after getting last place last season. Kamara's out, so I need a flex. ETN, Hawkinson, or Christian Watson. Interesting. Assuming this is a full PPR, I kind of want to go for upside because I feel like all of these players have really low floors. Like ETN, I feel like you wouldn't be surprised if he goes out and gives you 5. Same with Christian Watson. You wouldn't be surprised if he goes out and gives you 5. Hawkinson, you feel like he can give you a little bit more than that. But I think the ceiling play is probably Christian Watson. Hawkinson is the safe play, and ETN's kind of in the middle. I would choose ceiling, man, and I would probably go with Christian Watson. The only thing that makes me a little bit nervous is the injury. He's going to play through it is what it sounds like, so I'm probably still going to play him out there. When I'm looking at my rankings right now, though, I have Christian Watson as my wide receiver. Where is he? I got him pretty low. Where is he? I can't even find him. I think he's a big play guy. I probably look for him. But ETN is probably the middle of the. He's probably my second option there. Hopefully that answers the question. Big Sean says Colts defense versus Giants or Cleveland with Tua being out. I think I'm still going with the Colts defense. Both are good options, though. I have Colts as my number 1 defense this week. Right now, I have Cleveland as my yeah, I wouldn't be playing Cleveland's defense, though. I don't have them that high. I have them. Where do I have them? Where the hell are they? I have them as my defense number 26. That feels like that's pretty low. I actually don't know if I've adjusted that yet. But, yeah, I'd go with the Colts defense. They're my number 1. Flacco, Pickett, or Rudolph looking for the highest upside play. I think it's Flacco. Flacco's probably the highest upside. I know we said that the weather could be a little bit bad, but I don't imagine Pickett's going to be throwing, 3-4 touchdowns. We've seen Flacco do that before. They're probably going to be playing from behind as well. If those are the options, I'm probably going with Flacco. I have them all fairly close in my rankings. Flacco's my QB 21, Mason Rudolph's my QB 22, and Kenny Pickett's my QB 25. So just give me Joe Flacco here. Nate says, projected to lose by 8. Should I take a safe floor of Jacobs, or should I take the upside with Spears? Yeah, you still play your studs. Josh Jacobs is the guy that you should be playing. I wouldn't be benching him for Tajay Spears. Give me Josh Jacobs still. I missed last week's stream. Well, glad to have you here on this one, Anthony. Parker says Jalen McMillan, Tyreek, or Wicks start 2. Give me Tyreek and Jalen McMillan. And then Parker also says, and last one, Eagles D or Cleveland D. Give me the Eagles defense this week. Eagles are currently sitting as my defense number 2 on the week, so give me the Eagles defense. All right, so we are caught up after that early morning rush. Appreciate you guys being here. I want to share this just so we can talk about it a little bit, but these are the notable players that have been already ruled out. So you have Jalen Hurts. Obviously, he's dealing with a concussion. Not going to be playing. That one's tough for a lot of people. That happened last week. Obviously, leaked into this week. Has other implications with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, lots of other options there. Anthony Richardson not playing. We know that one. Alvin Kamara not going to be playing. Chuba Hubbard added to IR yesterday. That was a late one, a tough one. Tony Pollard not playing, which is obviously going to be good for Tajay Spears. Should increase the upside of him entirely. Then you have CeeDee Lamb not playing, Cedric Tillman, David Njoku not playing. Look, Tillman and Njoku not playing and DTR being the QB, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be absolutely horrible for the Browns today. K-Dot not playing in Tampa Bay as well. So Josiah says, go Pack, go, and not today. Not today, Josiah. We ain't doing that shit today. Parker says, thank you, sir. Go Pack Go as well. We ain't doing that shit today, folks. We gotta let Minnesota get this dub, man. We need to get this dub so we can potentially beat Detroit next week and take that number 1 seed. That's what we need to do. But yeah, those are kind of the injuries that you're looking at the moment. Nothing I think that we were surprised by, other than the Jalen Hurts. The Jalen Hurts one sucked, and I think the Chuba Hubbard one really was surprising to a lot of people, myself included. I had Chuba Hubbard playing on a team that was going to be in the championship. I had him on 2 teams, a championship team and a third-place team. I think he was starting on the third-place roster. Maybe had him on the bench already in the championship roster, but still not ideal for Chuba Hubbard. Josiah says, Ford, Spears, or White, PPR. Give me Tajay Spears here. I'm going to be playing him over those guys with Tony Pollard being out. Garendo or Addison, half PPR. I think I'm going to go Jordan Addison here, man. I think Garendo's still a good play. You obviously have to wait till tomorrow. But Addison, no Jair Alexander today. The way that Addison's been playing over the last couple of weeks, should be a pretty good matchup still for Jordan Addison. They're going to have to throw the football, be competitive. I'm still going to play Jordan Addison. He has some upside here, man. And yeah, I'm just looking. Just look at his last couple of weeks. Over the last 5 games, 2 top 5 performances from Jordan Addison. Top 25 performance last week against Seattle. Top 30 performance last week, or the week before that against Chicago. Those are some tougher matchups, but he's still seeing, 9, 12, 9, 8 targets per game. Probably going to play him. But Garendo, probably a safer floor, but I think Addison has the highest ceiling. FTP. I'm on that vibe today, Johnny, for sure. Anthony says, thoughts on Debo this week. Debo should be fine. I currently have him in my rankings as my wide receiver. I want to say I have him in as like wide receiver 20. Where's he at? 23. Wide receiver 23. The matchup against Detroit is fine. Detroit's been 27th against the wide receiver position so far this year. Should be an opportunity for Debo to kind of keep it going after last week. Officially bouncing back a little bit, finding the end zone. I think they lean on him a little bit more now, especially as banged up as they are. There's, they probably want to keep getting Debo involved, but I'll probably be okay with Debo as a flex option, maybe a wide receiver, low-end wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3 type of guy. Big Sean says, Spears, Rico, or Bucky. Pick 2. It's Bucky and Spears for me. I'd be leaving Rico on the bench. Spears should have a really good opportunity in front of him today, and Bucky should have a smash matchup. So give me those 2. Just realized I'm all crooked over here. It is what it is. And what else we got here? Any other questions for us this morning? Let's keep it rolling. Also, actives that were kind of questionable coming into today. Malik Neighbors, active. Devontae Adams, active, so we should be fine. Parker says, I lied. Kraft or Brenton Strange? Interesting. It's tough to trust Brenton Strange after last week. I'm still going to lean Tucker Kraft. I have him as a top 12 tight end this week. Brenton Strange, I have him as tight end 17. We also kind of talked about, some of the passing game maybe being affected by the rain in that game. So I think I'm just going to go with Tucker Kraft here. My bad. I was sending a text message. I'm supposed to do a reaction for Idiot League Mates, if you guys know. I'm supposed to be reacting to yesterday's game, so I need to record that after that. I just got a reminder. How you doing in your underdog draft? Still alive anywhere? Not anymore, man. I had a couple that were going into the semifinals. I didn't get into the finals in any of them. One of them I was pretty close, but I had a bad, I can't remember who it was. It was a bad day from maybe, I can't remember. I had somebody on there. Saquon had a mediocre day or something like that. That didn't get me into the next one. So yeah, short answer, Johnny, not alive anymore in any of those. But I'm excited, man. I did like 75 drafts this year. I think like 40 of them or 50 of them were in the tournament style stuff. And then I did like obviously like 25, 30 of them that were against you guys, subscribers and stuff like that we're doing throughout the off season. Those are fun, but I think next year I'm going to try and enter more tournament style stuff as well. Probably going to try and get that number from 75 to like 150 at least. Try and do like 150 and see if we can double that. Tank, Big, any. Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby or Rico. All right, that was a tough one to get out, Anthony. Give me Rico. I'm going Rico over Tank Bigsby here. Parker says, I agree. I'm leaning Kraft. Okay, so that's what I would be doing as well. Josiah says, good luck in your games today. Appreciate you. Appreciate you too, Josiah. Thank you for being here, and good luck to you as well. Hopefully we can pull in those dubs. All right. So how many I'm assuming everybody in the chat is playing for championships today, or is this for potentially like third place games and things like that as well? I'm assuming it's everybody in a championship. Jettas or St. Brown? I mean, obviously these guys are both top of the top. I got Justin Jefferson as my wide receiver 2 this week. Amon-Ra as my wide receiver 4. Actually, both of them are not great matchups. Green Bay is number 1 against the wide receiver. Amon-Ra is San Francisco is number 2 against the wide receiver. I just think it's a little bit tougher, man. I think it's a little bit of a tougher matchup for both of them. I think it's hard to trust the fact that San Francisco is going to be able to keep up with Detroit, to be honest. I think it's just going to be a more competitive game for the Packers. Josiah says Carrington Valentine about to gritty all over JJ today. Who? I'm just kidding. We ain't worried about his ass. We ain't worried about his ass. Josiah says 3 championships and 1 third place. Let's go. And he says out of 5 leagues. Not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. Grim says I'm in the championship. Anthony says Kraft or Titans tight end Chig Okonkwo. I really like Chig this week, but the weather's making me a little bit nervous. I think I still lean Chig over Kraft, but the weather's making me a little bit nervous there. I'm in the finals as a pretender, and then he says autocorrect killed me. Love to see it. All right, folks, I do want to let you guys know too as well. We do have some friends here from Underdog. Underdog is offering a promo to you if you have never played on their platform. Johnny and I were just talking about it. He said, how many Underdog drafts are you doing, or how many are you still alive in? Do those all off season long, getting ready for the season. Lots of money you can win over in their tournaments. I love them for their best ball, but they also are offering pick'ems. So if you guys ever want to do pick'ems, they do have those, a new customer offer for us if you use our code League FFB when you sign up. If you sign up this weekend, today or tomorrow, they'll give you a pick 'em for Monday Night Football. Brock Purdy has to get 1 total yard. If he gets 1 yard, you guys cash that part of your pick 'em entries. So hopefully helps you win some free money here as we go into the new year. Like I said, you have to use our code when you sign up. Good news is they'll also give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you sign up using that code. So make sure you use code League FFB when you sign up. There's also a link in the description. If you don't want to type in the code, you can just click the link. It'll help you there. But you'll get the Brock Purdy promo. You'll get $1,000, up to $1,000 in bonus cash, and you'll be able to play in some of those Underdog drafts with us here this offseason if we do them. So make sure you go sign up using code League FFB. It does support this show, so if you want to support the show and you want to go play on Underdog, go do that for me. Additionally, if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're in the chat, you've already hit the subscribe button, so thank you for that. If you want to chat with us, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And also make sure you guys stick around in the offseason. In the offseason here, just because it's championship week doesn't mean the content's going to stop. We got Dynasty Fantasy Football content all off season long. We got just a whole bunch of stuff, man. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff here. I've been working on kind of my schedule for the next couple of weeks. After week 17, I'm going to take 1 week of a vacation. I just went on vacation, but I need a break, man. I need 1 week break. So starting January, the first week of January, we're going to be doing a cornerstone draft for Dynasty. We're going to be recapping the rookie seasons for the quarterbacks, the running backs, the wide receivers, the tight ends. We're going to be doing Dynasty trade shows, whole bunch of stuff. So make sure you stick around for all of that. Lots of good content coming from that side of the thing. But let's get back into the questions. I see Parker says, sorry, not a start sit question, but in a 10-man Dynasty League, starting a new one next year. How many is the perfect amount? I would say, for me, if you're doing 10 to 12 man, that's the perfect amount. I know everybody's going to tell you 12 man is the exact perfect number that you have to play in. I like some 10-man leagues. It just depends on the managers that you bring around. Like, I'd rather have a 10-man league with 10 good managers than having a 12-man league with 10 good ones and 2 guys that are mediocre and maybe leaving the league in a year or two. So I would probably be doing 12-man if you have 12 good guys, but I'm not opposed to doing 10 again if you start a new one and you only have 10 good guys. But there is one benefit, an additional benefit to being in our Discord, Parker. If you're looking for some additional people to maybe join that dynasty, maybe you have 10 and you're looking for 2 good managers to join you, we do have a league finder channel in our Discord. So if you're looking for some people in the off season, just put it in that channel. There's going to be people in our Discord who watch this channel, love fantasy football, love Dynasty Fantasy Football, are active, and will want to join those with you. So make sure you go join that as well. Anthony says, Neighbors or Debo? I think I'm just going to go with Neighbors, man. I'm starting my stud there. I'm going to play him and live with the results. He's also chasing, I think, some incentives here. Uncle Fresh says, Brees or Spears? This is tough, man. I have both of these guys in my rankings fairly high this week. I got Brees Hall currently sitting as my my running back 15, but I have Tajay Spears as a top 12 play, so I'm going to go with Tajay Spears here. He's going to be the guy that I play, and I think I'm just going to live with that. Let's see, where else we at? Johnny says live mock drafts. We're going to definitely be doing some rookie mock drafts. We're going to be doing some dynasty startups. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff. Potentially live, maybe some pre-recorded as well. The ones that are going to be pre-recorded will probably be with guests. I'm trying to get a guest list of potential creators from around the industry that we want to have on. We'll have Nick Ercolano from bdge. We'll have Caleb, who's been on here before. We'll have MFGDs, who's obviously a co-host here. I'm going to try and get guys like Brett Coleman, maybe some other guys. We're going to just try and get a bunch of people from the industry to try and come here and do some Dynasty mock drafts and some things like that as well. Garrett Price from Dynasty Nerds. We're reaching out. I got a guest list full of 15, 20 people that I want to try and get on this offseason. So we'll have lots of stuff for you guys. And we'll definitely need your help, Johnny, and people in the Discord to join those mock drafts. Grim says, random question, do you do Dynasty team reviews? So I've done them in the past. They are a service that I do. It is a paid service, so it is something that I will charge for. However, I was going to be doing some extra Dynasty team reviews here in the off season once it gets a little bit slower. So a couple weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, I will be offering some team reviews to people in the Discord. Make sure you are in the Discord. I'm probably going to be offering about 10 team reviews to start off the off season. So it's first come, first serve. If you want to be a member of the Discord, it is free to join that, but those are going to be the people that get those team reviews. So if you're interested in Grim, in a team review, I'd love to do one for you. Just make sure you're a member of that Discord. So when I announce that to everybody, you will be one of the first people to see it, and then you can sign up for that service. What else we got? Kanji, what's up, Andrew? Finally caught a live. Love to see it. Appreciate you being here, man. Parker says, appreciate you. I appreciate you. Anthony says, what do you think about Barkley with Hurts out? Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I think the good thing about it is they'll probably lean on the running back to make it easier on Kenny Pickett. The only thing that worries me is that maybe he's not going to check down the football as much as a guy like Jalen Hurts would. Also, Jalen Hurts isn't going to, Kenny Pickett isn't going to be stealing touchdowns. So I don't think it really hurts Barkley too much. I don't think it helps him. I don't think it hurts him. I still have him as a top 2 running back this week. He's only behind Jahmyr Gibbs in my rankings, so still not too worried about him. Should be a fine play. Excuse me. what else we got, folks? I see we're at about 30 minutes. We'll keep going until we feel like those calm down a little bit, or we get not a lot of questions in the chat anymore. I want to make sure that we answer everything we can, but let me know, man. What else we got? I need to lock in, man. Can't believe I forgot that I had to record that thing for Idiot League Mates. Kanji, start 2, PPR for the chip. Addison, Jennings, Downs. I'm going to go with Addison and Jennings. Those are going to be my 2 plays. I have them the highest in my rankings. Addison would for sure be a start. It would be between Jennings and Downs as my last guy. But look, I have Jennings. Where's Jennings in my rankings? Sorry, I'm just looking for him real quick. Jennings is my wide receiver 17. So I have Jennings as wide receiver 17. And then I have Downs as my wide receiver 25. So I'd definitely be playing Jennings there. Jennings and Addison. Parker says, who even is the QB for Miami today? That's what I'm scared to play, Hill over Wicks. It's going to be Tyler Huntley. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that it's going to make you nervous. The problem is Wicks is still going to be playing behind Reed, Christian Watson, and Romeo Doubs. He's going to be playing behind all of those guys. And I'd rather play Tyreek Hill with a bum quarterback than I would rather play Wicks behind those 3 guys. So it does make you nervous. It is where it is. Tunchi. Gross that I have a defensive special teams questions, LOL, but Eagles versus Dallas, no Lamb, or Dolphins versus Browns with DTR. Both are good plays. I'm going to go with the Eagles. They're my number 2 defense on the week, so I'm going to play Eagles, Dallas, no Lamb. Johnny. He says, who wins? Detroit versus Minnesota, NFC Championship. Well, first of all, I hope that we're playing an NFC Championship. Here, I was kind of looking at the playoff road the other day. If Minnesota doesn't get the 1 seed, if we don't beat Green Bay today, and if we don't beat Detroit next week, the road to the playoffs, or the road of our playoffs, is a lot tougher. You get like, I think we'd potentially get like the Washington Commanders maybe in the first round. I can't remember exactly who it was. Maybe the Washington Commanders in the first round. Then you would also potentially get the Eagles in the second round, then maybe Detroit in the championship. It'd be a tough schedule. It's a tough schedule. That said, though, man, I don't know. I don't want to even think about it that far, Johnny. You're not going to get me to say something I don't want to say. F you, Johnny. Tracy or Garendo. Give me I think I'll go Garendo over Tracy. Achan or Brian Robinson with Tua out. Also, should I start Colts D or Dolphins D? Give me the Colts D, and I think I'm still going Achan over Brian Robinson. You're going to be betting on a touchdown, but I think I'll go Achan over Brian Robinson. Parker says Watson is out probably. Hasn't practiced all week. Last I heard, he was active last I heard. Let me just make sure. But last I heard, he was active, though. Oh, I just got one right here, actually. Tom Pelissero. Unlikely to go. So you're right. It feels like it's mixed here. It says likely to go, could be unlikely to go. I don't know, bro. It feels like, yeah, I guess I wouldn't bet on him. Still, where would I view Wicks? Let me just look at these wide receiver rankings and say, assuming Christian Watson is out, where would I plug him in? He'd probably be... I'd probably plug him in around like wide receiver 40-ish range. That's like where I had like... I kind of have Romeo Doubs right there. It's Romeo Doubs, Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. That's kind of where I had those guys. I probably still play Tyreek, though. I'm not overthinking it, man. I just know, and maybe this is a way to make you think about it a little bit differently, Parker, is if you were to play both of those guys in your championship and say one of them has a bad performance. If you play Tyreek and he has a bad performance, are you upset about it more than if you play Wicks, he has a bad performance, and maybe Tyreek out projects him? Which one are you going to feel worse about? To me, I would feel worse putting Tyreek on my bench and then him having a decent day, and that be the reason that I lose, is because I benched Tyreek. So I'd rather just play my studs, start my studs, live with the results. I know Tyreek hasn't really been with a stud so far this year, but you kind of get what I'm saying there, Parker, hopefully. Kanji says, as probably the strongest team in a Dynasty League, what do you do to stay productive in the offseason? I'm hoping to lock down the win this weekend, but got some older/hurt guys that might lose value. It's a good question, actually, Kanji, because I feel like I've had a couple teams where I've had to do this. Here's my thing. You want to stay active throughout the offseason, but you don't want to force moves. Identify need. What I like to do is I am the commissioner of all of the Dynasty Leagues that I play in, so I typically give everybody about 2 to 3 weeks before we renew the league after the championship game. It kind of gives everybody a breather, 2 weeks to kind of just like chill. We don't got to think about fantasy anymore, because a lot of people get burnt out at this point of the year with fantasy football, so we give it about 2 weeks. In that 2-week period, what I like to do is I like to go through and look at my teams. Okay, what positions am I strong at? What positions am I weak at? And identify those needs. Obviously, you want to get better at the weak positions, and maybe you can use some of the value that you have those strong positions and go give some of that up to go get better at the weak position. So I want to look at stuff like that. I want to identify which players I think are going to decrease in value over the course of the offseason, maybe because of age or things like that. And those are players that I'm potentially selling early in the offseason. And then once I do that, I also want to identify players that I think are undervalued because of a bad 2024 season that I think will increase in value over the offseason. I want to target and try and trade for those assets. So I'm just going through, I'm looking at those rosters, I'm making those notes in a Excel sheet or in notes in my phone, whatever it may be. I'm looking at that type of stuff. You want to make those moves, but make sure that you're trading for need and not out of boredom in the offseason, because that's how you get caught up in the offseason. Is if you trade out of boredom, you make a trade that you don't really need, then all of a sudden you get caught out in the rain. So I would just go through, I'd identify those needs for your teams and make those moves. If you feel like a roster is a little bit too old, maybe shed a little bit of the age and go get some younger guys or go get some picks. Sometimes what I like to do is trade for the picks in the early part of the offseason, even with no intent of drafting with those picks, because we know those picks are going to gain value over the offseason because people are going to get hyped as we get to the combine and the NFL draft and things like that. And then I'll sell them for more than I bought them for in the NFL draft period. So a couple ideas. We can talk a lot about dynasty theory this offseason. There's probably a lot of a deeper conversation about that as well. Happy to talk about that in the Discord too, but that's just some ideas, hopefully, to get your brains moving and flowing, kind of get that going for you there, Kanji. Hopefully that makes sense. Hawk or Chig, Jacksonville weather is brutal, right? It's not great. I'd probably go Hawkinson over Chigakonkwo this week. For example, he says Kirk, Ayuk, JT, Najee, Goff are all older than my core studs. So guys on this list that I would say are older that I'm not worried about. Ayuk, I'm not worried about age. Goff, I'm not worried about age. Kirk, I'd probably be moving. JT, he's on the fence. Najee, he's on the fence. So age doesn't affect me on those two guys, Ayuk and Goff. I'd be okay with them. Alex says, okay, with Watson out, per my question earlier in PPR format, we thinking Hawkinson or ETN then? I am a Vikes fan too, and I feel like Hawk is just due for 80 to 100 yard game with a touchdown. Thoughts? If you want to bet on Hawkinson, I think that's fine. Here's the thing. I have Hawkinson in my rankings fairly high. I think he's a guy that we can kind of, at least at the bare minimum, guarantee that he's going to get double digits for us. When I'm looking at ETN, you obviously have the time split, but you have some bad weather. I think both of these guys are very close. You're betting on touchdown, but in a PPR league, you can avoid weather in Green Bay. Hawkinson's the safe play. He's the safe play, but I think ETN has a higher ceiling than Hawkinson. But if you're a Vikings fan, you think he's due for that, and you want the safe play, Hawkinson is a fine start. And hey, I'm with you. I need a big day from Sam Darnold. That's why I got the jersey on today. Probably the only person you know in a Sam Darnold jersey right now. But I need a big day from Sam Darnold, so I'm with you. Parker says, good point. Grim says, I'm in the same boat. Ride. Tyreek. And then Kanji says, that's fire, brother. Thank you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right, folks. We are getting close-ish to kind of cut off time. We've slowed down a little bit with the questions. I'm going to say last call. Let's last call these questions here. Throw in the final questions. We'll probably go about... We'll try and go to 45 minutes, assuming that we get enough time to do that. So let's go to 45 minutes and get those final questions in, man. They don't even have to necessarily be start sit here this week. If you guys want to talk about something else for 5 minutes, we can do that too. Want to know what's crazy? I typed in, when I was looking for Christian Watson, I typed in Christian Watson on X. 2 of my tweets from last year popped up with Christian Watson, bro. Christian Watson here and Christian Watson there. I had 2 random pop up from last year. Kind of crazy. All right, maybe we won't go to 45. It does feel like it got a little bit quiet in the chat, so I just want to make sure that we're not missing any other news here in the last second. I'm checking my tweets here. I got Schefter and Rappaport and all these guys' notifications on. Seems fine. Kanji does say, is it risky to have 4 guys in Monday Night Football in the championship, or am I way overthinking? I've Goff, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Gibbs, and Jennings. Look, if it makes you feel any better, Kanji, in my championship game, I have 3 playing on Monday Night Football. So I think it might be a little bit of overthinking. I mean, 3 of the names that you listed are top 10 plays at their position. Goff, Amon-Ra, and Gibbs are all top 10 plays to me at their positions. I also have Gibbs, Amon-Ra, and Goff playing in mine. So maybe risky if the Lions go out and put out a goose egg, which I don't think that that's going to happen. Obviously, it's in the range of outcomes, but I don't think it's going to happen. There you go. We'd be in it together. So I'm not too worried, man. I'd play them and be okay with it. And if they have a bad day, I'm going to have a bad day with you. So at least we're in it together, I guess. Grim says, thanks for the help, or thanks for the time, man. Good luck. Appreciate you, Grim. And Josiah says, McKinney, 2 interceptions today. Get out of here. We need a good day from Sam Darnold. So that's what we're rooting for today. I got my championship roster that I'm really rooting for right now. We'll list it just so you guys know who to root for. If you want to root for me, if you don't want to root for me, you don't have to. I do see we got a couple more questions. We'll get to those right after I list this. Sam Darnold, QB1. Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, the wide receiver or the running backs. I had Lad McConkey and Puka Nacua play. I'm going to go BTJ. I was deciding my tough start sit decision of the day. BTJ versus Tajay Spears. I'm still undecided on that one. I think I'm going BTJ, though. Trey McBride was the tight end. Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra as the flex, and Jared Goff is the QB2 in the super flex. So should be a team that we can root for there. Last few ones. Thanks for getting us right, man. Have a great afternoon and good luck with your games. Appreciate you, Kanji. We'll talk more in the Discord this offseason for sure. Half PPR, start 2, Dowdle, Rashad, Garendo. Give me Garendo and give me Rashad. I think those are going to be the 2 that I play. And then Caleb says, I'm over here debating Josh Allen and Jaden Daniels. I've been on this misery boat all week, my dude. He says, I'm rooting for you. So, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels. Let's just be honest here, Caleb. 4-point passing touchdown. Josh Allen is my QB1. Jaden Daniels is my QB3. They're both top 5 options. Hopefully this doesn't decide your week, but there is no way in hell I'm benching Josh Allen in my fantasy football championship after he got me there. Josh Allen or bust. This is the man who has probably got you all the way to the championship. I'm not sitting him. I'm living with the results. Start your studs. Josh Allen is the play. That is my advice, and that's the last advice that I'm going to leave you with. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Like I said, if you want to support the show, use code League FFB over on Underdog. They will give you $1,000 in bonus cash, and you get the free pick'em for Monday Night Football. Brock Purdy over 1 yard. That gets you some cash. But that's all I have for you today. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, go do all that good YouTube stuff. Stick around in the offseason. Like I said, tons and tons of fantasy football content, dynasty fantasy football content starting in January. Super excited to do that for you guys and with you guys. So hopefully you guys stick around. But let's try and crack that 4,000 too in the next week or so. That would be great if we can crack 4,000 subscribers. But like I said, nothing for you today. See you on the next one tomorrow to recap all the Monday night game or the Sunday games and hopefully celebrate some of those championships that you guys have won. With that being said, see you tomorrow. Till then, peace out. Maybe not.